This is where we take materials you send our way, dig into them, and pull out the key insights for you.
Yep, saving you the time of wading through it all yourself.
Today, we're looking at a YouTube transcript. It's from English Podcast Zone.
That's right. And the episode, it's about business English, specifically a simulated sales meeting.
The video is called Business English Learning Podcast Conversation, Episode 2.
Mm-hmm. And our mission here, really, is to pull out the important English vocabulary, phrases for things like sales strategy, making suggestions.
And responding to them, too, I guess.
Exactly. But also to look at the workplace dynamics, what's going on between the people in this meeting.
Okay, sounds good. So let's start with some of the vocabulary they highlighted early on. First up, drive sales.
Right. Drive sales.
Seems simple enough, but in a business context, what are we really talking about? Just selling more.
Well, yeah, the source says it means to increase sales or to sell more. Simple definition. But, how do companies actually do that? It could be marketing, new products, different sales tactics. It's not just wishing for it.
Good point. It's the action behind the wish. Okay. Second term, promotion.
Ah, yeah. And importantly, not a job promotion.
Right. Not climbing the ladder. This is about marketing.
Exactly. The transcript uses examples like buy one, get one free at the supermarket.
Or 2 for 1, as they also called it.
Or just cutting the price for a bit. It's basically an incentive to get customers to buy.
Got it. Those examples make it clear. Okay, so let's dive into the meeting itself. What's the setup? Why are they meeting?
Well, the main thing is sales are down. They need to improve things. And the person leading it wants concrete solutions.
Concrete solutions, so no messing around with vague ideas.
Nope, they need actionable stuff. And the first person to offer something is Roger.
Okay, Roger, what's his plan?
He suggests lowering prices to match the competitors.
Why?
Because apparently they're the most expensive in the market. His logic is, let's just match them on price.
Makes sense on the surface. How did that land with the others?
Oof, not well. It got called not very creative.
Not creative.
Yeah, and someone immediately said it'll never fly with Swan. Swan being the CEO, presumably.
So dead on arrival, basically, because the boss wouldn't like it.
Pretty much. Suggests a certain dynamic there, maybe a fear of simple ideas, or maybe they genuinely needed something more innovative.
Right, you can almost feel the mood drop. Okay, so after Roger's idea got shot down, Natalie speaks up.
Yes, Natalie suggests a promotion.
Like the ones we just talked about.
Exactly. Specifically, she mentions a 2-for-1 offer or something like that.
Okay, so a volume-based incentive rather than just a price cut.
Yeah.
Better reception this time.
You'd think so, maybe. But no, also negative.
Really? What?
It was dismissed as the same thing as lowering prices, basically. Called a bad idea, even a really bad idea.
Wow, that's harsh. So lowering prices is bad, and a 2-for-1 is also bad. What do they want?
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Maybe they felt both were just short-term fixes, not real strategy. Or maybe the manager, Clark, just wasn't receptive.
Okay, so things are tense.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Then the big boss arrives. Mr. Swan, the CEO.
Okay. Pressure's on now.
Definitely. You can sort of feel the shift. Now they really need an idea.
So how does it go with Swan there? Does anyone dare bring up those ideas that just got slammed?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. Someone, maybe Natalie or even Clark, mentions they were kind of considering a 2-for-1 offer to get more competitive.
The same idea they just called bad.
The very same. And Swan's reaction, totally different.
Oh, what did he say?
He says something like, I kind of like the sound of that, and sounds like something we should consider.
You're kidding. From really bad idea to something we should consider.
Exactly. A complete 180. And suddenly someone else chimes in, calling it a brilliant idea and very creative.
Wow. That speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About hierarchy, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really highlights that HIPPO affect the highest paid person's opinion. The idea itself didn't change, just who was listening.
Fascinating. And kind of frustrating if you were Natalie, I imagine. Did the original podcast hosts comment on the manager, Clark, in all this?
They did. Their opinions differed a bit, actually. One thought he was interesting, but maybe a bad manager for how he handled the ideas initially.
And the other?
The other was more direct. Thought he sounded like a terrible person to work for, especially shutting things down, then pivoting when the CEO liked it. They apparently discussed him more later on.
Yeah, that quick change when the boss likes an idea is telling. Okay, let's shift to the language takeaways. The phrase Roger used, match the competitors. What's the deeper business meaning there?
Well, it means trying to be as good as or maybe better than the other companies in your field. Could be price, could be quality, could be service.
So it's about your position relative to others.
Exactly. Though, as we saw, just matching on price wasn't seen as very strategic in this particular meeting.
Right. Okay, next phrase. In the market.
Simple one, really. It just means in the industry or in the sector.
Like the best product in the market.
Precisely. The transcript used examples like English pod is the best language pod in the market, or talking about iPods being popular in the market. Just defines the competitive space.
Got it. And the last one from this section was, it'll never fly. That sounds quite dismissive.
It is. It's an idiom, meaning it won't work, it's not a good idea, or, crucially, it won't get approved.
Like the expensive marketing plan example they gave.
Yeah, or trying to sell bikinis in Alaska. It implies it's impractical or doomed from the start, often because someone higher up won't agree.
A very final way to shoot down an idea. Okay, moving on to the fluency builders. These are about sounding more natural.
Yeah, suggesting slightly more conversational alternatives to common phrases. The first one was, we'll be here any minute.
Instead of just, we'll arrive soon.
Right. Like in the dialogue, the CEO will be here any minute. It sounds more immediate, more natural in spoken English than the slightly stiffer, will arrive soon.
I can hear that difference. What else?
The verb consider. They suggest using it instead of just think about.
As in, it sounds like something we should consider.
Exactly. Compared to something we should think about. The source suggests consider. Sounds a bit more formal, more professional, maybe even smarter in a business context. It implies more careful thought.
Subtle, but it makes sense. And the last one.
The word brilliant, used as another way to say great or great idea.
That's a brilliant idea.
They do note it might feel a little more British English to some ears, but it adds emphasis. It signals you think the idea is really good.
Good alternatives to keep in mind. Now, that whole meeting dynamic, especially with Clark and Mr. Swan, seemed to spark a discussion in the original source about management styles.
It did. They contrasted Clark, who seemed potentially demotivating by, cutting off ideas.
Until the boss liked one.
Right. They contrasted him with a positive example. A general manager, someone new, who made a point of encouraging people, knowing their names, making them feel valued.
And the effect of that positive style.
Increased motivation, more loyalty, people feeling genuinely part of the team. It makes a huge difference, they argued.
It really does seem crucial. If your ideas are constantly dismissed, why bother suggesting anything?
Exactly. It stifles creativity. An encouraging manager, even if they don't accept every idea, fosters a much healthier environment where people aren't afraid to contribute.
Makes total sense. And finally, the transcript mentioned a vocabulary review section in the original source.
Yeah, it sounds like they did a quick run-through of definitions and examples for all the key terms we've discussed, like concrete solutions, drive sales, match the competitors, never fly, promotion, consider, brilliant.
And some related ones, too.
Things like competitive, win sales, sales strategy, sales cycle, tout sell, and customer loyalty. Just a rapid recap to reinforce the learning.
Good way to wrap things up. Okay, so as we finish our deep dive here, what are the main takeaways?
Well, on one level, it's the practical business English, the specific phrases for sales, suggestions, meetings, useful stuff.
Definitely.
But maybe more interestingly, it's the peek behind the curtain at workplace dynamics, how ideas are treated, the impact of hierarchy, different management approaches.
Yeah, the human element within the business jargon.
Exactly.
So a final thought for you listening. Think about your own experiences. Have you been in meetings like this? Seen ideas get shot down only to resurface later? How does the language we talked about fit in?
And maybe reflect on the managers you've had or the kind of manager you want to be. How does encouragement or lack of it affect how people work and contribute?
It's definitely more than just vocabulary, isn't it? Understanding these dynamics can really impact how effectively you communicate and operate at work. Something to consider.